Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of The Devil's Due. Courts is back in session. I am your host, Carl Dooney, and with me, as always, is a man who only knows three truths. Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, and uphold the law. Mr. Drew Celestino.
And there may or may not be a fourth hidden truth, but I don't know.
Well, try to attack your boss at work. You'll find out.
That's risky, man. I just got this job. I don't know.
You say, boss, I just got to try something out here.
You're under arrest.
You may have a weapon pointed at you, but don't be afraid. This is either going to work out poorly for me or poorly for you. How you doing, sir?
Okay, I'm good.
Here we are. We're back again.
We are.
Guess who's back? We're back. Back again.
Is that a thing? That's a thing, isn't it?
It's from Eminem song.
Yeah, that sounds right.
How was your week, sir?
'Twas good. We had a lot on our plate here to talk about this week that happened. So much happened. Easter happened. It was all right. So went a little smoother than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you just are not in the mood for gatherings. So I survived.
We're always in the mood for gatherings. It's family gatherings that we're just like, can I get out of this?
I got out unscathed. It was good. No, it was good. Cool. I think it was good. Good times. Good times. Yeah, man, that's really the only big thing that happened for me this week. Other than that, we had our little cookout on Friday for game night.
Yeah, that was fun.
Went well. Fired up my charcoal grill for the first time. I'm usually a gas guy, so this is a whole new frontier of smoke and fire and ways to burn my house down.
It's a wonderful world, charcoal grilling.
It's something. It's a lot of work. More work than turning on the propane, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Sometimes when you get home, you just want to flip the propane on and get some
convenience,
quick dinner. Yeah, charcoal doesn't have that. Charcoal gives you much more flavor, though.
Yeah. Maybe if I throw some chips down, maybe.
Yeah.
On its own, it's
do some smoking.
Yeah, smoke is what the flavor is. It's also what the cancer is. Column A, column B. You got to weigh the options here. But no, not a whole ton of momentous occasions for the weekend. Let's see. Did anything happen on Saturday? Went out to dinner with my best friend who was in town from New York. With his Easter visit and whatnot.
Cool.
Went to Santa Cero's on Niagara Street. Good Italian place. Ironic because he's Polish, but that's their family loves going there, so I decided to join them. Had a nice little walk on the break wall out by under the Peace Bridge there.
Yeah,
it was nice. And then watched 2 more episodes of Mystery Science Theater. Still good.
Yep.
My complaints still stand, but they're common complaints, so it's not like I'm not throwing anything outlandish at you.
Wife and I started watching the first episode. We were laughing.
Yeah,
it was fun.
That's all you got to do. That's all it's for.
Yeah.
Don't repeat to yourself. It's just a show. I should really just relax. It's in the theme song, man. Just don't take it too seriously. It's because it's not.
That's almost hypocritical coming from you.
In this case,
you are not one to just relax.
No, I'm not. But the fact that they put the disclaimer in the show, then it's okay. That's their mantra that I must follow. When it's something else that's like serious that they start getting shifty with, then I get mad.
Gotcha.
Then you can't pull the, well, relax, man, it's just a movie. It's like, well, why does it exist then? Anyway.
So in other words, if a movie you're about to see is going to be bad, you want a disclaimer in front of it that it is a bad movie.
It helps. Ben Affleck comes out in Justice League and just like, look, folks, I'm just cashing the paycheck here.
Remember that movie I did called Paycheck?
Yeah.
This is the sequel.
Justice League. Then he flashes his paycheck to the screen. Then I'd be like, oh, okay. Well, he warned us. So now I don't have to care.
I don't think he really has to say it at this point.
No, the interviews say all. Yeah. There may or may not be a road date for the Long Cold Dark happening.
Ooh.
So,
hitting the road.
July 21st, we may, as long as I can logistically dot all the I's and cross all the T's, there may be a show in Brooklyn happening for the Long Cold Dark. Brooklyn.
Nice.
Yes. So let's.
Do you need a roadie?
Yeah, actually. Might be a little tight quarters in the car, but yeah.
Well, it's not going to be me. I was just asking if you needed a roadie. We would put a listener contest or something.
Sure, you can road for us. Don't break my guitar. That's all I ask, man. Yeah, it's exciting. Could happen. It's out right now. We're on the bill, so now it's just a matter of getting everyone on board, and that's proving to be a little tricky, but we'll make it happen.
Yep.
So, I don't have much else here. What's up with your week?
My week was okay. Like you mentioned, we had a game night Friday night, and I picked up a new game that hopefully we can get a play in on it this week. Also picked up, because we were all kind of jacked up on Star Wars Friday, which we'll get to in news. Picked up a Millennium Falcon for the X-Wing game.
For X-Wing.
Yes. I've since picked up another ship.
Welcome to the rabbit hole, sir.
Yep. I'm okay with it because it's a lot of fun. I want to play it again. The local shop does X-Wing nights. I think I might go to that this week.
There you go.
So check that out.
Nice.
So yeah, that was Friday. Saturday was kind of... I don't think we really did anything on Saturday. We were just kind of relaxed. Sunday was church in the morning. We went to the early service because, everybody goes to church on Sunday.
Sure.
So we went to the 8:30 service.
Beat the crowd.
Yeah, our church does 4 services. They do a Saturday night service and then an 8:30, 10 o'clock, and 11:30 service.
Wow. Okay.
Typically, we are at the 10 o'clock service because it's a nice, you can kind of sleep in. You don't have to get up too early. But we went to the 8:30 service, and then we went to kind of dinner at my mom's.
Kind of dinner?
Yeah, it was a little early for dinner, a little late for lunch.
What time was this?
Like 3:30.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So think of
what time did you actually physically eat?
Around like 3:45.
Yeah, that's early.
Yeah, so think of like brunch, but not
but
in
dinner.
Between breakfast
it's
and
like
lunch.
A dinner.
Yeah, there you go. It's Linner. We had Linner.
Linner. All right.
Or Dunch.
Doesn't Dunch sound like a dirty word? Dropped a Dunch.
So
Gotta take a wicked Dunch.
Yeah, there were 6 of us, and my mom made enough food for 20 people.
Yeah, Granny did the same thing for brunch.
Seriously, 20-pound ham
for 6 people.
For 6 people.
Well, that's full, 3 pounds a piece plus some.
Full dinner size lasagna dish.
Okay.
Full dinner size macaroni and cheese dish. Potato salad. All like side stuff.
So in other words, you have food for the week, if not the month.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
That's not bad. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Monday. Something funny to tell you about Monday. So we've got HBO Now, which is
that different than Go?
Yes.
Oh.
HBO Go, you have to have HBO as part of your cable package to get it.
Okay.
HBO Now is their streaming service.
What's the difference?
You don't need HBO
but it's
on
the
your
same
cable.
content?
It's all the same content.
Do you pay more?
It's like Netflix. It's like $12 a month or something like that.
Okay.
So we have that. So it's nice. You get like a new movie every Saturday.
Sure. Do you get the shows?
Huh?
Do you get the shows?
Yeah, everything's on HBO.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay.
Past,
that's where the money is.
Past and present is on that app. Suicide Squad came on this week.
Oh, well, lucky you.
I watched it.
I'm sorry.
And I found out what is wrong with the DC films.
Everything?
Well, besides that, they cast well.
Uh-huh.
And you've got good characters and bad movies.
Okay.
Like, Henry Cavill is a great Superman.
He could be.
He is. Like, when you think back to... Because I know you didn't watch BVS, but when you think back
I've seen parts
to,
of it on TV.
When you think back
They're
to
bad.
Man of Steel...
Uh-huh.
Just the parts where he's just being Superman, just like talking to people and whatnot, he's very believable as that character.
Yeah.
And he works. He looks like the character. He works as the character.
Could use a spit curl, but sure.
He's close. He doesn't even have a spit curl in the comics anymore.
I know. What's going on in the world? Anyway.
I'm saying I don't mind that he doesn't have a spit curl.
Fair enough.
The spit curl does not define the character for me.
But the undies do. Anyway.
Batman vs. Superman. When he's not shooting people with his guns, or like stabbing them through the neck or everything, you're like, I would like to see Ben Affleck as Batman in a movie that Zack Snyder has nothing to do with.
I was of the opinion he would be great.
And in Suicide Squad, the couple times Batman shows up, it's very good as Batman. He is believable as Batman. What I found surprised me about Suicide Squad is I enjoyed the characters, but the movie itself is hot garbage. Like the plot, everything else, like, Will Smith as Deadshot was great. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn was great. Oh my God, Amanda Waller.
Okay. So
put her in every freaking movie.
But the movie itself
is garbage. It's hot garbage.
That's a problem.
And it's not even like the whole things we've discussed before with DC films where there's no color and whatnot. The tone actually fit this movie.
Okay.
But it was still hot garbage. They tried too hard to make a Guardians type movie. You could tell that from them switching to classic songs every 15 minutes.
Well, I knew that from the trailer.
Yeah. So that's kind of like DC. Good characters and bad films. They're kind of sticking to the Superman 3 and 4 formula.
That's a bad place to be.
Yeah,
you
that's
don't want to
not
be there.
what you want to do.
No.
I was legitimately surprised how much I enjoyed the characters in Suicide Squad, and just the even Jared Leto's Joker.
As awful as he looks,
the visual is terrible.
Yes.
His performance was decent. Yeah, it's not like a redefining Joker. It's a serviceable Joker. It's a Joker that will work.
Is it wrong that I want more than that for the Joker, though? Like, shouldn't he be good?
You can't expect Heath Ledger every time. You can't expect Mark Hamill every time.
Then what are we doing here?
What is great about those is that, I mean, unfortunately, we're never going to get a Heath Ledger Joker.
No.
That's kind of what makes it a little more that performance a little more special.
Sure.
Mark Hamill's performance, we get it again every once in a while in like a movie or something, but we don't get it with the frequency that we did. You kind of have to not have something on tap to be able to appreciate.
No, I understand that. I just,
and these characters are so open to interpretations. This was another interpretation, which visually terrible, train wreck, but on a performance level, I found myself enjoying it much more than I thought I would.
Okay.
Still looks like a train wreck.
Yeah.
If you take his performance of Joker, slap Jack Nicholson's makeup on him,
okay,
you've got a perfectly good Joker.
All right. Well,
you
do that then, because I don't like what they did.
No, I know.
I don't like stuff that's different.
Yes, true. We know.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
So,
but now you have HBO, whatever, so you have access to Eastbound and Down.
I do.
You have access to Vice Principals.
I do.
Oz.
Yes.
Yeah. Your world's about to get real good.
I've got a lot of stuff I'm watching. I'm coming to the end of the second season of Lucha Underground.
Yeah. Oh, stop that.
It just picked up a little bit with the nunchuck match, which was
the nunchuck
which was fun.
Space nunchucks.
Still not a fan of Matanza. Just think he's.
Do you see how he flips people around with like no effort at all?
He's big and strong. I've never seen that before in wrestling.
I've never seen the way he does it before.
Yeah, I've seen it before. It was called Andre Giant Ultimate Warrior.
Andre did not work nearly as agile as Matanza works.
I finished Into the Badlands.
Okay.
Which is only 6 episodes long. It's a great show. Really great show. Only 6 episodes. You bang out really quickly. Did you finish Iron Fist yet?
No. I did watch an episode the other night. I hate this show. I've gotten there. I hate this show. I have antipathy towards this show. Like I'm rooting against everyone now.
I can only imagine what it's like having to watch Iron Fist while watching Daredevil.
Oh, it's terrible. It's compounding the awfulness.
Yeah.
Marvel, you done goofed.
Yeah, they got a misstep. Couldn't be undefeated.
I forgot what happened I know what happened in the last episode I watched. So Colleen Wing is in the hand?
Yep.
What is this? Get out of here with this.
Folks, you can tell when Drew really hates something because he starts to make up gibberish words.
That's right. Like, there's nothing. I'm watching. I got to the point in the last episode. I was just like, you know what? I don't like any of you. I don't care about the Meachums and their bullcrap. They're stupid. They shouldn't even be on the show. They're pointless. They're completely pointless and superfluous so far, anyway. Oh, don't tell me there's going to be some big stinger at the end to make them matter. Boy, I hope it's good because they are completely unnecessary, in my opinion.
Not really.
Ugh, they're worthless. They're all so worthless. Danny's a petulant child. I'm sick of him, too. We don't get any training scenes in Kunlun. We get none of that. We have to believe it because he tells us, and then he just starts whining about it when people don't believe him. Dude, sorry, but welcome to the real world. I thought I liked Colleen. Turns out she's in the hand. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Great. Oh, and the hand happens to be run by a Portuguese guy, apparently. And not
Now you're
Nobu.
just being racist.
Japanese Ninja Clan. This guy is clearly not Japanese. I'm just saying. It's taking a turn for the worse. That's all I'm saying.
The racial views of Drew Celestino do not necessarily reflect the views on the Devil's Due.
Not supposed to be racist. I'm just pointing out that he's not Japanese.
Okay. All right.
He could be Chilean for all I know. I don't know, but he's not Japanese. He's not Nobu. I know that much.
Adam Gao's not Japanese.
No, she's not. But Marvel, if seeing as they want to, be racially insensitive with the whole Iron Fist issue to begin with, Chinese, Japanese, who cares, right? Iron Fists, everybody, in a nutshell.
Hopefully they'll fix them in Defenders.
Oh, I hope so. Man,
I'm
man.
trying to think if anything else happened with my week. Everything from Friday on is just a blur of Star Wars. Speaking of which, I watched Rogue One again last night.
I still got to... I'm terrible. I got to get it
You know
still.
what? There's something that bothers me about Rogue One. It's a very little thing.
You're not alone.
It's a very little thing.
Go on.
Star Trek is science fiction. Star Wars is science fantasy.
Big time fantasy.
If you try to figure out how things work in Star Wars,
No.
you're missing the point.
Yes.
That being said, the Star Destroyer hovering above Scarab bothers the hell out of me.
So it wasn't just me.
Because I'm like, there's no way.
Right.
There's no
It would
way.
collapse under its own weight.
It just, no.
Right.
It-
It's got jets on the back. There's nothing hovering. There's no propellers or
If
propulsion
I saw
underneath.
some hover jets going, I'd have no problem.
Right.
Or even something resembling a hover jet. No problem.
Right.
But, again,
I
very small thing.
No, I hear you.
Movie's freaking fantastic.
I had a similar
Third
reaction
best
when I
Star
saw
Wars
it.
movie ever made. But now that just kind of takes me out of it. Just kind of...
thing
Don't get me wrong. It doesn't take me much longer to get back into
I
it.
know. But I had the same reaction when I saw that shot. I was like, wait a minute. How are we doing that?
Yeah.
But then you could argue, well, the TIE fighters and the Sunset and Force Awakens and all that stuff. How do they...
It's because of the sheer size of a Star Destroyer.
Sure. Yeah, you physically, it's impossible.
It's much easier to suspend the disbelief with TIE fighters
It's a small
and X-Wings and atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, not for nothing. See, Star Wars, like you just said, don't try to explain.
Yeah, it's...
So let's flip it around then. So am I absolutely justified in hating the fact that in the Star Trek reboot they were building the Starship Enterprise on Earth?
No, not really. It didn't bother me as much.
Those ships can't enter atmospheres, dude. They are built in space,
But there's they can at least offer some, fiction-y science how they can break orbit and get into it.
No. That's Star Wars. That's what you do in Star Trek. You gotta be. Listen to me. But at least Star Trek has one foot in the scientific basis for everything. No. Never mind that this complete gigantic ship that would never sustain its own weight in Earth's gravity. We're going to build it here in Iowa, which conveniently is where Kirk's from, by the way.
The thing that lost me in the new Star Trek movies, especially in the newest one, did you see Beyond?
No. Motorcycles.
What
is this?
There was a space station in Beyond that was so far and away advanced of any other technology that they had shown in those movies
Really?
at
Okay.
that point. And it was a Federation space station. I was like, from what it looked like, it was far and away advanced more than stuff they've shown in Next Generation.
That's stupid.
Made Deep Space Nine look like a barn.
That's no.
Yeah.
No. You know what saddens me? Star Trek. Sure, JJ came on board. Movie did well. Put some life back into the franchise.
Yeah, the first one was good.
You know what I think
the
happened,
second one was JJ kind of, practicing for Star Wars.
Yeah. Here's what
the third one was not JJ.
Here's what I think is the problem with this, with what's happened here. Did it like reinvigorate Star Trek? Yeah. Short term. Long term, I think it's done damage because now Star Trek is what? Just another action space movie franchise? That's not what Star Trek's supposed to be.
The problem is Star Trek has always worked better as a television show than it has as a movie.
Well, because as a movie they have the problem of trying to make it into sci-fi spectacle movie with action and stuff, and that's not really what Star Trek's about. Star Trek is more philosophical.
Every once in a while, exactly. You can do one every once in a while. Wrath of Khan,
sure.
Undiscovered Country.
Undiscovered Country's great.
Those are both great.
Yeah.
But it's like what Star Trek should be doesn't work for a movie.
It does if the movie commits to it, but then people are going to have an expectation. It was boring, but it's like, that was the point.
No, you know what happens when they commit to it? You get movies like Insurrection.
No, that's
a very long episode of the show.
That's what
Insurrection. If you made that into a two-parter when Next Generation was airing, would have been fine.
No, that was pure fan service written by guys who weren't fans. That's the problem with that movie. The best Star Trek episodes are ones that are more philosophical and
philosophical questions.
Yeah, and
exploring concepts,
right?
In our understanding of reality, things like that.
And that's hard to do in a movie. So, yeah, I think so. It's a bummer because it feels like nope, it's just another sci-fi action schlock franchise now.
Yep.
And it used to be popular in the '60s and the '90s with Next Generation.
That being said, give me the Millennium Falcon and a squadron of X-wings for backup, and I'll scrap any ship Star Trek can throw at me. And suddenly the voices of 1,000 nerds cried out, "No way, you can't do it."
That's probably right, actually. I mean, because they're not based in reality.
See?
So it's kind of unfair.
All right, so that was pretty much my week.
We got to find a big aside there.
Yeah, we got...
It's okay.
Actually, it's so rare for us, really. Are you drinking your protein thing?
No, I already did that earlier. I'm over it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm over the flavor.
How's the Gaim grind going?
Gaim's good.
Gaim's good?
Hit some good numbers on Monday.
Cool.
Hit some new benchmarks.
Awesome.
It is, kind of. It's it's oddly rewarding.
Folks, if you would like to tell us about your gym routine, ask us questions.
Give me some lifting advice.
Let us know how your week was. You can reach out to us at the following social media locations. You can follow us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. Thank you for all those who responded to our poll that I put out earlier this week. You can find us at facebook.com/DevilsDoPod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com. And you can find all these resources on thedevilsdopodcast.com. That being said, Drew, it's time for some cross-examination.
All right. Let's do it.
You know what we need on this show?
Music?
No, we got music.
Okay.
Two things. Maybe like a gavel sound effect and a segment called Closing Arguments.
We'll have to do the can I cop the Law and Order gung gung thing?
No.
Oh.
That's not a gavel.
What is it?
It's just a gun.
That's silly.
Well,
I thought it was a gavel.
No. Have you ever heard what a courtroom gavel sounds like?
But I thought it's supposed to be like a symbolic gavel.
No.
Well, I've been watching Law and Order wrong.
What courts are you hanging out in? The one where the gong show is hosted?
I know it's not literal, but that's supposed to be like what it represents.
It's what it is.
It's just a gong gong?
Yeah, it's just a gong.
Someone, get Dick Wolf in here. I want to know. I want answers. Is it Dick Wolf, right?
I think so.
Okay. What is the gong gong?
All right. Only one email this week from one half of the Pan Am Connection.
Ooh.
This being from the Panamanian.
Okay.
Mr. Alan Waiters.
Where's Jay?
You didn't send anything? I'll double check, refresh really quickly.
Slacker.
Nothing from Jay.
What a slacker. All right.
Gentlemen, I hope you had a good Easter and long vacation like I did. Shut up, Alan. Bragging about your vacation. Carl and Drew. Besides Daredevil and Spider-Man, what comic books have had a deep impact on your lives? Which characters could you relate to the most?
Oh, well, it's at this point where I probably make reference that I like Wolverine because he was a short guy. It's that simple.
No love for Puck, huh?
Screw Puck. See, Wolverine was short. Puck was a dwarf. It's a difference, man. A little weird.
All right.
Yeah, Wolverine made a big impact on me as he did many a lad of people of my age, which makes his current status that much more depressing. Yeah, I liked Savage Dragon a lot as a kid. Believe it or not, I thought that was my favorite Image series, and I liked all those original miniseries and the first 12 of the 14 issues or so of the ongoing. That side, those were my big comic book experiences as a kid. The longest lasting impact as a kid.
I'm surprised you didn't say Watchmen.
As a kid, no, I didn't know what Watchmen was until I was in college. And then I read Watchmen, and then life changed a little bit. Oh God, yeah, we'll talk about that, I'm sure. Trying to think if there was anything else that was really my jam as a kid. It was mostly X-Men. It was whatever was most popular in the 90s, so X-Men. And the Image launch was huge, but the only one that I really enjoyed, and I knew that I enjoyed and didn't just say I enjoyed because it was cool, was Savage Dragon.
Yeah. For me, the comic that has had, aside from, mainstream stuff, the comic that had the biggest influence on me growing up, and this is in my high school years. Let's get Lucas here.
Yeah, he's going to whine. Let's let the man in. The third act of the show here. There he is.
Lucas.
There's Lucas. Please don't step on the recorder, Lucas.
You know he's gonna.
All right.
Oh, folks, if you only knew how many times Lucas has stepped on the recorder and stopped us from recording. Yeah. The comic that had the most impact on me, and this is when I was in high school, and something I discovered, I have to admit, first it was introduced to me first through the movie. And then
you're going to say The Crow, aren't you?
I'm going to say The Crow.
You know what? I'm going to stop you right there.
What? No, it's my turn. You can't take mine.
Count me in on that, too.
Okay, fine. You could talk after I've said my spiel.
I just want to make sure I'm
about to nudge me out of my lane.
I was thinking strictly as a child, but yeah, junior high was. Yeah, go ahead.
I watched the movie. The movie was great, and the comic just came along at that right time in my life where it showed me. A, it showed me another ways a comic can be done. B, it showed me the emotional depths that a comic can go to. Is just a heartbreaking story written and created out of heartbreak. The movie is fantastic. It's in my top 5 of all time, but the book is so much better than the movie. In storytelling and artwork, it was kind of it was my catcher in the rye throughout high school. And anyone who went to high school with me can attest, because I had the long black hair and the black leather trench coat, and I had that makeup down pretty pat when Halloween would roll around. So yeah, definitely The Crow. I still have my original trade that's worn through countless readings.
The kitchen sink version?
Crap. Yep,
I got that one.
The black cover one.
Black cover, yep.
A couple years back, I picked up the special edition, which was interesting. Some stuff that wasn't included in the original books, but was still done by James O'Barr.
Is there a hardcover available? Because I would probably scoop one up just for my own collection.
I've never seen one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on all that, and I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I saw the movie too first, and then I got the comic, and it was like you just said, mind bending in a way. Comic books can be like this.
Yeah.
Whoa, eye opening in a big bad way. And the soundtrack obviously hit me at the right time as
the
well.
The soundtrack is one of the all-time great soundtracks.
It might be tops. I mean, it's it was one of the it probably was the defining soundtrack of the 90s in a way, man. Like
I think it's soundtracks from the 90s. I think The Crow,
yeah,
Pulp Fiction,
yeah,
Swingers, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, these are good, but they're not. The Crow, man, is like,
trust me,
it's got them all beat. I think it just,
especially Romeo and Juliet. That's a kick-ass.
What's the big gun on that soundtrack?
There was a Radiohead song that was on there. Oh God, I can't remember the name of it. But I mean, it's not like,
if you can't remember the name of it, then I'm gonna hit you right back and just go like, we had Big Empty, and we had the Joy Division cover by Nine Inch Nails. Boom, headshot. Oh, and the Cure song.
Your Ghost Rider by Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
No, Ghost Rider was by the Rollins Band.
Yep.
What was the name of the Rage Against the Machine song? Because the intro to the Rage Against the Machine song is what I gave you, is what I had in mind for the inspiration for our intro.
I don't remember. We can look it up. Yeah. But that Crow soundtrack is legit.
Oh God, yeah. There's no argument.
All it needed was some typo negative. It would be perfect. But it's pretty perfect as it is. Yeah. But a little typo would have been like if Love You to Death were on there or something like that. Oh my God, it would be out of control.
Yeah.
Out of control. But yeah, that comic book and that movie, I saw that movie 6 times in the theater, dude.
I only saw it twice in the theater.
I went to see it like every chance I could just because I loved it so much.
Here's a funny thing, like when the film finally came out for rental. Now, kids, back in the day, when a movie came out on video, that doesn't necessarily mean it came out on home video. Not every film was available for purchase when it came out on video.
That was a later construct.
Yes. Big hits were available for purchase. Like, right. I remember people lining up to buy the Batman videotape when it came out. But you could still order that. You could do like special orders. I remember I could special order it from Media Play, and it would have cost me $90.
That's madness.
For a pan and scan VHS tape.
Wow. And
I was ready to do it. Then Blockbuster had them like used, getting rid of something, so I'd snatched one up there. I used to watch that movie so much. Funny thing though, like I still love the movie. It's still in my top 5. But I can't relate to the film as much as I used to be able to, because like one of the things that kind of drew me to the film and made me able to relate to the film and the comic was the concept of loneliness and loss. And like I was that sad, pathetic in early life, writing god awful, why am I alone poetry? Why doesn't she love me poetry?
Yeah, I didn't get that far.
I listened to a lot of Stabbing Westward.
Good band. Yes.
Good band for the first 2 albums.
Maybe 2 or 3.
Then after that, their albums were still good, but it's like, okay, dude, can you just get over whatever it was happening with her? Because your next 3 albums, same thing.
Yeah.
But now being where I am in life, and I'm very thankful for this, having a loving wife and an amazing son, I can't relate to that.
Okay.
To that emotional set anymore. I hope I never have to again.
Sure.
I hope I don't have to relate to that level of loss again. But I mean, we all know how life goes. But yeah.
I guess, on one hand, that's awesome that you don't, that shows that you have grown, as a person, which is good. I mean, I've got other stuff in my bands I used to like and things like that I'm distant from now because I'm not there anymore. But when it comes to like stuff like that, I don't know, man. This is going to sound really weird because I'm much like you. I have, a wife and a house and life and everything's good. I'm a pretty well-adjusted adult, fairly anyway.
You got some anger issues.
Oh, stop. Issues.
There's no issue about it. You're straight up angry little dude.
Oh, listen to this. This is blasphemy. Hearsay. But as a musician and an artist and stuff, like I hate to say it. It's going to sound like weird, and
you kind of have to hold on to a little bit of it.
I don't feel like I have to. I just feel like
it helps.
It's just not doesn't go away.
Yeah, I can see that.
Everything could be great, and it's like, you know what? It is, but it's not. Like, it's this part of me that's never really going to go away. I'm okay with that. Like,
yeah, I think your music keeps you connected to that. I think that's an important part. I don't think it's a detriment to who you are as a person. I think
that's the balance. You gotta, because if you let stuff like that define you for the rest of your life, I'm gonna tell you, dude, grow up. Because there's people I know that never got out of that stuff, and their lives frankly aren't that good. So that's part of life. Moving on is part of life, but there's always that part of it. It's those themes of loneliness and kind of. I don't feel lonely in like I don't have anyone that loves me and all that business, because like The Crow obviously was like dealing with the death of a loved one and all that. So I don't have that sort of like loneliness, as I'm air quoting here. But there's part of me that no one really knows you the way you know you in a way. And that's okay, I guess. So there's a loneliness there that's hard to explain. You are your own person, and
you are who you choose to be.
Sort of. I'm explaining this poorly, but there's just
no. I get what you're saying. I think a lot of our listeners understand it as well, because I think at one time or another, a lot of us have been in that point in life where there's a loneliness there, and there's a kind of, for lack of a better phrase, a darkness there that
I guess
some people.
I might be over dramatizing.
No, I don't think so, because I felt a lot of that too. Even like I've spoken before about this. I claim a faith in Jesus Christ, and I came to that faith early on in high school, but those emotions were still there. And a lot of it was because I was holding on to him, because it was what I knew. It was the comfortable zone.
Sure.
And I think that everybody kind of encounters that at some point or another, and either they choose to embrace it like we did, or they choose to cover it up and ignore it with things that one might refer to as superficial, or things that just in the grand scheme of things are important, but it's what they needed at that time to kind of cover that up. And either it's something that they dealt with successfully early on, or something that, can come up and bite them in the future. I think everybody goes through that. And the fact that I'm not saying that we're superior to anyone else by any stretch, but like, and I know there are some of the people who listen to the show know what I'm talking about. Not that we necessarily, we embraced it, we felt it, we experienced it, and now we're okay with not doing it.
Yeah. I'm in no hurry to go back to my junior high misery and angst. But I
can't grow the long hair anymore. The hairline is just not permissible, because if I do it, it's just going to be a skullet, and that's not good.
Depends who you are, but
in 20 years, I'm going to look like Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Hey.
My pool's teared ass around the backyard.
You know what? Let's table this for a moment, because I think at this point you've given me an idea, and I'm just going to pitch this to you, and I don't think you're going to disagree too much. We should do a Crow episode.
I'm okay with that.
There you go. Let's
Halloween or Valentine's Day.
Oof. Tough call.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Thanks for the question, Alan. Is there more?
Yeah, there are.
Wow, that was a huge diversion there. But the Crow does that to me.
Carl, who has the more impressive Funko Pop collection, you or Mr. Gelsomino, and why? You know what? I try to be humble, but in this case, I just gotta say, I do.
You do. You kind of have.
I do.
You got an army, and he doesn't have a Hulk.
He does. I have a Hulk.
So you have the army and the Hulk.
I have a Hulk and a Voltron. And a Flash Gordon.
It's not looking good for Jay over there.
Yeah, I've got 31 on my desk at work.
Whew.
And because this all spun out from a Facebook post.
Yeah, he thought he was a big boy.
Yeah. Although he did get the season 2 of Daredevil that I want.
He did.
I've got the black costume Daredevil and the red costume comics Daredevil. I need to get the Daredevils from the TV show.
Not for nothing, but the season 2 Funko Pop isn't different enough from the season 1 one for me to want to buy it.
I want to
It's
buy it.
different, but I don't need it.
No, I know. And today I posted all the ones I have at home. I think he kind of cooled his jets a little bit.
Simmer down, little britches.
Yeah, considering that like half of the ones I have at home you can't buy in the stores because they're from like collector crates or things like that. Like all those Star Wars ones I have at home are all from collector crates.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and chalk this up for you. This is a win for you here.
Just keep trying, Jay. You'll get there
Someday.
Drew.
Yeah.
Do you consider the mini NES a success or a failure? Do you think Nintendo stopped making them to put... I'm going to rephrase this. Folks, when you write us a question, do me a favor. Read the question back to yourself before you send it. Because sometimes reading these things makes me sound like an idiot when it's just your bad writing.
Wow. Way to throw Alan under the bus there.
Well, this is how it's worded. Do you think Nintendo stopped making them to push Virtual Console? So, caveman Alan.
Well, that's a valid sentence. Go on.
All right.
Is that...
Yeah, that was...
Okay.
Do you think Nintendo stopped making them to push the Virtual Console?
Okay. I think it's an unquantified success. I don't think they had any anticipation that it would be quite as in demand as it was.
Yeah.
So anytime you've got a shortage on the shelves, you got yourselves a success on your hands. And I think they were probably only planning on making that initial shipment for the holidays. It sold out. People went bonkers for it for whatever reason. And they said, crap, we got to make more. Well, guess what? Our factories right now are manufacturing our Switches and our 3DSs or whatever, The NES Mini is going to have to go back on the back burner until we can get time to get it back in the supply chain. So, I understand people's, frustrations in trying to acquire one, but I don't think Nintendo had any idea that this little toy would be this.
They built it as a stocking stuffer.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. For as cool as it is, it's not meant to be a long-term sustainable platform.
Yeah.
It's a toy. It's literally, I mean, it's a toy.
Yep.
So it's a huge success. Did they discontinue it for the Virtual Console? If they're smart, most likely. If I'm Nintendo, I don't want people paying $60 for the little toy to play those games. I want them buying the Switch, where I'm going to have a platform to sell you all those games.
How much do you think they charge for Nintendo games on the Virtual Console?
$5. Throwing it out there. Just a guess. Pure guess. Do the math.
That's still frustrating because... Okay, this will be the third Virtual Console they've had.
Yes.
Wii U, now this one.
Yes. If
there's hang on.
I'm
assuming original Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Bros. 2, and Super Mario Bros. 3 have been available for the previous two.
Yes, correct.
Did they?
Now, if you bought them, if you bought them on the Wii,
okay,
there was a $1 upgrade fee on the Wii U. And what that did was, you didn't have to pay the $1. You could still play them all in Wii mode on your Wii U if you transferred your data. They were there for you. The $1 made them available in the Wii U's menu, not in Wii mode, and playable on the gamepad. So that was like hey, you still have it, it's yours. Give us $1, and it's upgraded for the gamepad. Okay, fair enough. With the Switch, no one knows what's going, and that is tricky, and that is problematic.
If any classic Nintendo games are more than $1, because come on, Nintendo, you have made your money,
and they can continue to make money
100 times over.
Okay, but you know what? Movie studios
a little bit of fan service.
Hang on. Every movie studio has made their money 100 times over on every movie you've ever watched, but they're still going to put out a new version of it for you to buy.
Yeah,
or
to
stream
when they do that,
or
they
something.
Give you a little something extra, whether
do they?
it's like special
Not always.
features and
Not
whatnot.
necessarily.
Most of the time, yeah. If it's a reissue of a movie, unless it's in a new format.
Well, this is a new format.
You're usually no, it's not.
It is though.
It's not a new.
It's
format.
a new format. It's not a new
digital
console
transaction. It's not a new format.
See, I disagree. I disagree entirely. It's a new platform. I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
Just make them $1.
$1.
Stop making excuses for Nintendo.
That's ridiculous, dude.
Really, is at this point in life, is the original Super Mario Brothers, is there any justification for that costing more than $1?
Yeah. It's a good game. Is it less good? No. Is it no longer good? It's worth $1?
God, you're starting to sound like Trump.
Let me throw this at you. I also don't agree with the Apple digital, it's beyond Apple at this point, but the notion that songs are $1. Who says? Apple said songs cost $1? There was no price per song before, but someone decided that $1 was a justified price for a song. And now the whole musical landscape is slashed and burned and no one makes any money at all. Guess what? I think albums and music are worth more than $1. I think someone's heart and soul and recording technology and all that costs a little bit more. And I'm willing to pay a little bit more for a good song than I would be for some pop garbage. To me, that's worth less. But I'd buy something I really, really love, and I'd pay almost any price for it. So the notion that a good game, just because it's old, is worth $1. Who said that? That's ridiculous.
To be fair, games last longer as far as time of consumption. B,
okay, so
before Apple, people started getting these songs for free.
Yeah, because people stole them.
Yeah, they did. And it was about to become extremely rampant. Apple came in and said, yeah, it's $1, but at least the artists are still getting something.
Yeah, let me tell you how that worked out. Not well.
I'm not saying they're getting a lot. I'm just saying it's better than the Napster model where the artists get nothing.
Media, good art and good media is worth a price to be paid. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so that is the end of the cross-examination. Very spirited cross-examination for just one email. Way to go, Alan.
Alan got a lot of mileage out of that email.
Should have brought that Thunder in the World Series. Might have won.
Yeah, right.
All right, so now it's time to dive into the case files. And I was hoping to get through the cross-examination relatively quickly.
No.
We got a lot to go over in the case files.
There's a lot here. This is a meaty episode of The Devil's Due.
It is.
Thick and meaty.
And we got a freaking awesome episode of Daredevil, too.
That, too.
Whew. Giving you gold, people.
For free.
We're not even asking $1.
Yeah, right? We should charge for this.
You can
premium
send us
content
money if you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so before we get to the meat of the case files, let's get a little hooked on a feeling really quick. Some good news coming out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. First off, Mr. James Gunn is confirmed to direct Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Very happy Marvel was able to retain him for that third one. I think having the same director who's clearly passionate about the project lends a continuity to it and keeps the voice kind of the same throughout all the films. So yeah, that's definitely good news.
And he also confirmed something else for us.
Oh, did he? So when Iron Man came out, we got the the post-credits scene, the stinger,
which is a staple now,
been known to be called. No, it was by no means a new concept in film.
No, but Marvel's
got
their own
trained now. Stay through. Then when Avengers rolled around, we were introduced to the mid-credits stinger.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, myself included, left after the mid-credit stinger and did not catch the post-credit stinger of basically just them sitting all around eating shawarma.
It's good. It's delicious meat.
So ever since then, 2 scenes have been kind of the norm in the Marvel films.
Yes.
I think Avengers 2 didn't have 2. I think it just had the one scene.
That's correct. Yeah, they didn't have one.
Drew?
Yeah.
How many post-credit scenes are going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
Well, originally, it was reported 4. 4! Which is 2 more than 2.
I am no math engineer, but that is 100% more than 2.
Well, I'm going to throw some more math at you. Because James Gunn came out and clarified, 4? No, sir. 5.
5 post-credit scenes in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. How
does that
awesome
work?
is that? I'm going to be scared to leave the theater.
That's what they want.
Because
That's
like
what they
I'm going
want.
to be sitting there like because we're all going together, so you're going to see me there with like my hand up in the air with like 3 fingers up. Be like, okay, that's 3, that's 4. Even after 5, I'm going to be a little worried to leave the theater because maybe they like sneak another one in. I'm staying until they kick us out.
They can, yeah, they'll be cleaning up. There's more. There is more. That's crazy. What is happening?
James
5?
Gunn coming at us like Braun Strowman. I'm not done with you yet.
That's great. Yeah. I you know what? I'm fine. Some people are like, oh, they're jumping the shark with that. Like, no. This franchise and this director can get away with that, and I'm okay with it
because 4 of them are just going to be like jokes.
Totally. And with this cast and this crew, go on, man. Give me all the jokes.
Yeah, like I want one of them to be Peter Parker opening up his locker and there's Rocket and Groot.
Okay,
just cause.
Sure.
Since we know now they go to Earth, thank you very much for the spoiler, Alan.
Thank Jimmy Kimmel and Marvel for that, though.
Were either one of us watching Jimmy Kimmel?
No, but I saw it on the internet the very next day. So,
Okay.
But, maybe one of them will be a Tango and Cash reunion.
Yay.
Because it could happen. And Lucas can't handle it. He can't handle Tango and Cash. So we're going to kick Lucas out of here. If you're not into Tango and Cash, you got to get out. That's just the rule. That's a rule.
Tango and Cash.
All right. Yeah.
Shang.
5
post-credits.
5.
That's crazy. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait.
All right.
I can't wait.
It's like in 2 weeks, dude.
Can't wait. Okay, let's get to the heart of the matter. As Hunter S. Thompson once said, let's get to the heart of the matter. This past weekend was Star Wars Celebration in Orlando.
'Twas.
Now, for those of you who do not know,
it's Comic-Con, but Star Wars.
Just Star Wars, and it's put on by Lucasfilm.
Right.
So this is, if you are a Star Wars fan, this is the place that you kind of want to go to get the lowdown on all the new stuff happening, con exclusives up the wazoo. Oh, speaking of which,
yeah,
we were discussing Funko earlier.
Yeah.
So Funko had a booth at Celebration.
I'm not surprised.
And they had con exclusives. I believe there were 3 con exclusives. I believe one was a Force Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn. Yeah. It glows in the dark. Another one was Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Okay.
Who's becoming big again.
Yes. Yeah.
And the third one, I believe, was Rey on her speeder.
Okay.
The Remington electric shaver.
Is that what that is? Okay, sure.
That's what it looks like to me. It looks like an old Remington electric shaver. You could not simply walk into Funko's booth to shop. You had to enter into a raffle. Get a ticket drawn to go into their booth to shop. Funko, you're doing good stuff. People like you. Don't feel yourselves that much.
The question is, was the demand such that they had to do that?
I'm sure it would be.
Well, then,
like I'm sure if you looked up Star Wars Celebration Con exclusive Funkos on eBay, they're probably going for 5-6 times what they sold for.
So in a way, then I think that's justifiable because that way you don't have. Okay, what's gonna make you more upset? Standing in a 3 or 4 hour line to get into the Funko booth, which has probably been picked clean, or they do the raffle and you get in or you don't.
Well, I think obviously for Funko you put a limitation on purchase number.
Yeah, but my point being though, like, okay, so it's first come first serve. Well, great, 3 hour line, or they tell you up front, hey, you didn't win the raffle, go have fun.
Yeah, I can see both arguments, but I fall on the side of standing in line more than
fair enough.
Okay, so anyway. Star Wars Celebration is going on. Lot of news came out of the celebration. Obviously, the big one being trailer. Don't worry, we're going to get there.
Sure.
But there's some other really cool stuff that came out of Celebration. One of the earliest things that was announced was the Star Wars Force of Destiny series. Now, what this is an animated series of shorts that is focusing on the female characters in the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
Leia, Rey, Jyn, Sabine from Rebels, Hera from Rebels, and it's all kind of narrated by Maz.
All right.
from Force Awakens. They got all the voices, all the actors. Well, obviously, unfortunately, not.
They got Carrie Fisher. Wow. Okay.
They didn't.
Okay.
And it's really cool. And they're coming out with like a new toy line, kind of more girl-centric toy line.
Is this going to be airing online or on a network?
From what I understand, they're going to air on like Disney XD, but they're also going to be available on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
I think this is really cool because, again, it's Star Wars broadening. Now, I wouldn't say broadening, acknowledging its female fan base, producing more stuff that's kind of centric to them.
They're making up for the whole "there's no Rey toys available" debacle.
Obviously, there's a huge backlash by the neckbeard mouth breathers.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Pissed off that
I don't even want to go
female.
here.
Yeah.
I don't want to acknowledge it. That's ridiculous. Let people have what they want. Let people have things.
I think it's going to be a cool thing for kids, especially for female kids.
Yeah, it's great.
Obviously, as Force Awakens and Rogue One have shown us, original Star Wars set the standard for the tough female in film. Now we're just kind of spreading those wings.
Because Lord knows there's no powerful males in Star Wars anymore. Everybody, it's been taken over by the feminists.
Yep.
Because Poe Dameron is just a panty waist.
Yep.
What a wimp he is. Kylo Ren, what a wimp. All these males, and they're being subordinate to the females who've taken over. Ugh. The Han Solo. What a
Luke
chump.
Luke
Skywalker. What did he ever do?
Well, nothing in the last film, to be fair.
He only took out the Emperor. I mean, you break. Get over yourselves.
30 years ago, sir, what have you done for me lately?
Get over yourselves, neckbeards. Take a shower and go outside once in a while.
Okay. The other thing that was announced that you kind of went, huh?
I did?
And I kind of went, huh?
Okay.
Is a young...
Interpret these noises how you will, folks.
What's classified as a young readers series, comic book series.
Oh, this. Yeah.
So this would be more like a kid-friendly comic book series.
Yeah.
Of stories spanning all three eras of Star Wars, prequels, classic, and sequels.
So, Carl, it's a comic book series. It's a Star Wars comic book series. Star Wars is owned by Disney. Disney owns Marvel. It's a Marvel comic book series.
Nope.
Okay. Go on.
It is being produced by IDW.
That is curious to me.
Which is one of the more prominent indie labels.
They are.
They just seem to work well with everyone. Because currently right now they have a Star Trek and Star Trek meets Green Lantern series going.
Sure.
And they also have a Star Trek Planet of the Apes. No,
they do
Green
really
Lantern Planet of the Apes series going. So I guess they're just very accommodating.
They're very, you know what I think they are? They're basically just like they're a publishing house, period. There's no property.
Well, they're also
editorial property stuff going on.
They're also kind of where you go for younger readers too. So they've got My Little Pony.
Okay.
They've got Adventure Time.
Basically, they're strictly a licensed publisher.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because they do G.I. Joe, they do ROM.
I think they might have like one or two original works that they do themselves, but mostly, they do licensed stuff. Not unlike Dynamite.
Sure.
Whereas Dynamite kind of focuses on the noir characters, the public
domain characters,
things like that.
But I find it really weird that they wouldn't just peg Marvel for that.
I mean, I don't mind. But no, it's just something that kind of took us off guard and we found interesting.
I guess the House of the Mouse is not quite as omnipotent as you would think they would be in this situation. I would have guessed they'd just let Marvel handle it all and all is one under Disney's iron fist. But no, apparently they're okay divvying this out.
Sure. I mean, Marvel's Star Wars series is still good.
Still good.
Still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Are you reading any of the side series?
No.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I only have so much.
Yeah, it's not that I think they would probably be bad. It's just that there's only so much comic money to go around.
Yeah.
So there was that. Then the next thing is an announcement that I was highly anticipating, extremely excited for. It leaked out a little early, and then Saturday they hit us with the full announcement trailer for Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Coming to consoles this November.
With a campaign this time, though.
Dude, they're fixing so many things.
Cool.
That they misfired on the first one. Single player campaign. And they've come out and said that this story...
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
This story is canon.
Yeah.
The story fills in the gap in between Jedi and Force Awakens.
Okay, that's fine.
So, single player campaign. No season pass. But there is going to be DLC. I'm okay with that because I got the season pass for a birthday present last year, and I felt bad for the person who bought it. Because they spent $50 on something that I got nothing for 5 months.
Yeah, okay.
And granted, the stuff that they eventually came out with in the season pass was cool. Wasn't $50 cool.
See, for that price, I would expect no less than 3 fairly sizable expansions.
Yeah.
Like guaranteed. And if they didn't hit those benchmarks, then I'd get a refund. Anyway.
So no season pass. There is going to be DLC. Rumor is it could be free DLC. I'm not buying into that rumor because hashtag Electronic Arts. Customization up the wazoo.
How so?
Weapon customization.
Okay.
Character customization. Ship customization.
So if
both cosmetic and
your loadout
technical.
And things like that. Okay. So if I want to be Luke Skywalker, how much customization am I going to have on Luke Skywalker?
I think typically for the hero characters, because they're like...
Are they like locked in? And then you can kind of make your own grunt or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the hero characters you don't get to pick from the outset.
Gotcha.
Like in previous Battlefront games, you worked up to be able to earn them. In the last Battlefront game that came out for PS4 and Xbox One, the hero characters were in icons that were hid throughout the battlefield. And if you found one, you got to like choose which hero character you wanted to be, which was a cool thing.
All right.
So, yeah, extremely deep customization. More planets available, more stages available at launch than were in the whole of the last Battlefield game, which also counts the downloadable content that came out for the Battlefield game. Space battles, ground battles. This is sounding like it's...
The definitive Star Wars experience?
Hopefully, because I thought... and a lot of people disagree with me on this. As a first-person shooter, the last Battlefront game left a lot to be desired. As a Star Wars experience, it was second to none.
Okay.
And I still, up until, even after Street Fighter V came out, I still played it fairly regularly because it's just fun. It's a fun toy box to go play around in.
All right.
So, yeah, that's coming out in November, and I cannot wait.
I have a bone to pick.
You don't like the story.
I don't like the fact that they're telling the story from a villain's perspective, and they're expecting me to identify. I don't know. My protagonist is one of the bad guys. Does this strike anyone else as a little weird?
Is this the first time it's happened in a game before? No.
Star Wars game?
No. Numerous Star Wars games have you taken on the role of the villain.
I want to just tread lightly on the whole glorification of a villain.
There was a whole Jango Fett game.
Yeah, no one cares about Jango Fett. Come on.
It's a good game.
Yeah. Anyway.
You just close your eyes and pretend it's Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's what they wanted you to do. Anyway, I don't know. And this is kind of bigger than Star Wars, but Star Wars is kind of guilty of it because fanboys love this kind of crap. Dark and edgy, you know what I'm saying? It's so dark and edgy. You can play as the villain and kill people. Dude, you know what?
This is coming from the guy who fronts a band called The Long Cold Dark.
I don't advocate murder and stuff in my songs. Wrestling's guilty of this now. Star Wars is dabbling.
So if a rebel soldier guns down a stormtrooper, he's fighting for freedom in the galaxy. If a stormtrooper guns down a rebel soldier, he's evil.
Yes. Here's why. The Empire in the movies were shown to be empirically evil. They blew up a planet full of billions of people for no reason. They were the bad guys. The Emperor was evil. the Empire was evil. That was never really in question. So I'm not really into this whole like shades of gray crap they want to throw at it to try and make it look mature to people like us who have grown up loving the movies, but now we think we're too cool for good guy, bad guy concepts. Guess what? It still works. And I don't really need young kids getting exposed to this kind of like morally gray stuff, because then their whole like worldview, you might say, well, it's good for them to experience different perspectives. Dude, their perspectives are still forming. Let's give them a foundation of what is acceptable and what is not. Good and bad. It's good for it's important stuff. I don't even have kids, and I know that. Wrestling too, same thing. Faces, heels. This whole like layered shades of gray crap. Great, congratulations. No one knows who to root for anymore. And by the way, your business is down. So how are we doing here? I'm on a little diatribe here. Look, it could be a great story, and it's not the first time. You're right. All I'm saying is let's tread carefully. I want good guys to be good guys, and I want bad guys to be bad guys, and I'm okay with that.
I get what you're saying. I think you're making some valid points. Ultimately, it's up to parental guidance.
It is. I'm not saying it's not.
Got to have conversations with your kids. Like I said, I think it was in the last episode, the episode before that. My father sat down with me. We, saw I was watching some more intensive stuff, 80s action movies and whatnot.
Sure.
So, you understand this is fake and whatnot. You can't go out and do this. Yeah, okay, go ahead and do what you want. I'm not saying do it on that level. What I'm saying is if video games are forming your children's worldview, you're doing it wrong.
No, it's, you know what? Dude, I've said the same thing for years. I agree with you.
You need to have those conversations.
You do.
And a lot of parents just don't. Dude, when I worked at freaking Blockbuster and freaking Grand Theft Auto would come out, little kids, older than 10 or 12 would come up, hand me the game, be like, I'm sorry, I can't rent this to you without your parent. They'd go get their parent. I'd explain to the parent, and not in a way that was hostile or anything. I'm like, I just want you to understand that there's this in the game. They're like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever.
I hear you.
It's the game creator's job to craft a good story, a good fun game.
As an artist, I completely support all of that.
It's the parent's job to guide the worldview.
Star Wars, though, is a little more for everyone, and everyone includes the youngsters. So
I know.
Let's not cloud things up too much.
It's funny because you talk about worldview. You go back and you watch the original Star Wars, juxtaposed to the world that we're living in now. I got news for you, sir. We're living in the Empire.
We
are the Empire.
Oh, I know.
And a band of. Do you notice that they never call terrorists on these rebels the way they used to?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It used to be in the 80s they called them rebels. Now rebels has a positive connotation, so they're called terrorists.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, I know.
Small group of freedom fighters, I'm doing air finger quotes.
I see, I know.
Launch a surprise attack on the established government's main installation.
I know.
Blowing it up.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I'm with you, man. I know. Hey, look.
Don't look in the mirror. You're wearing stormtrooper armor.
I'm not. No, I hear you, man. Hey, that's a whole other show. We'll get into the state of affairs. But I'm just saying, for Star Wars, let's keep things, I don't know. I'm not saying keep it light, but keep it kind of light. At least keep the line drawn. And I guess the reason why it kind of worked me up is because we're also living in this era, right? It's topical right now because we got Captain America doing this Hydra crap right now, and like,
I get what you're saying. You're making valid points.
I don't like this.
Would you be less kind of irked by it if you had a choice between, like, you could play the Rebel side of the story, or you could play the Imperial side of the story?
Yeah, but I would still have that inkling in me, like, they put that in there for the people. I'm going to face the bad guys. Well, those people. And you know what, dude?
I'm interested mostly not so much as quote unquote playing as the bad guy as is just like seeing the story, what happened after that from their perspective.
I don't want to humanize the bad guys too much.
Your leader is assassinated.
Yeah. I hear you.
Not all the Nazis were bad guys.
Can I still punch a Nazi in the face?
You can still punch if they today. If they come up to you and say they're a Nazi, yes, you can punch them in the face. I'm saying back in World War II, a lot of people were just fighting for their country, didn't buy into the Nazi theology, and
Yeah, well,
So
again,
not all stormtroopers.
is that a hashtag? Not all stormtroopers. Oh, I like good guys and bad guys. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I guess.
Let's not muddy the waters too much. It is Star Wars after all. It's space fantasy.
Before
A lot of big stuff in this episode.
Yeah. Before we get to obviously the headline of Celebration, this celebration definitely had a different feel to it.
Yeah.
Because of the absence of Carrie Fisher. She was always at these things. And this this celebration felt like the fans' way of saying goodbye.
Sure.
And like you would send me the link to the tribute. And look up Carrie Fisher tribute Star Wars Celebration.
If you want a good cry,
have some
watch
tissues nearby, and that was rough to watch.
The feels were
because
had.
she meant so much to so many of us who've grown up with Star Wars and things like that. So this celebration kind of definitely had the feel of we love you, we miss you, we wish you could be here.
Star Wars is forever.
It's time to move on.
Yeah, you're in the Star Wars family forever.
And move on we did, sir.
Let us move on.
As anticipated, we were...
This has been analyzed to death by everybody, so we can just get into this.
Treated not to a teaser, but to a full trailer.
I'd call it a teaser.
No, a teaser is a minute and 30 and less. Anything...
This was a minute and 30. This was a minute and 30.
No, it was like 2 minutes and change.
30. It's a minute and 30.
We were given a full trailer. I don't care what you say.
Okay, I'd call it a teaser, but go on.
Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi.
For a full trailer, we didn't get a whole lot of content, but okay.
We got so much content.
Did we?
We didn't get a lot of answers, but we got a lot of content.
Yeah, content. It's a good trailer. I enjoyed it. It whets the appetite enough.
There's no making you happy ever.
Sure there is.
Go ahead. Yeah, dude.
No, it's a good trailer. It whets the appetite. It lays things out for what you expecting to see. So you're going to get a little Rey Luke training sequence. I like that, especially that big shot, the big pan across where she's doing the lightsaber stuff and it's all far away. It looks beautiful, beautiful cinematography. She's clearly learning the difference between light and dark. We see some space battles. Obviously, it's Star Wars. There's going to be space battles. I think I was the only one in my office. We watched this with like 3 other Star Wars nerds in my office. We all watched it together. And when that one shot that I got a little worried about, were those?
They're not pod racers.
Okay, because when they showed up on screen, I audibly said, "Oh no!"
even if they were pod racers, I'd be okay.
I'm not,
because Disney has shown they know what they're doing.
Yeah. So you know how they've done that? By largely avoiding anything pertaining to the prequels outside of Jimmy Smits showing up for 5 seconds.
I think we're going
Which is a smart choice.
Start to see not so much character references, things like that, but concepts that were introduced in the prequels, revisited and kind of flushed out more.
I don't know about that.
Especially like the concept of the chosen one, the one who was supposed to bring balance to the Force. There's always been the question of who was it? Was it Anakin? Was it Luke? Was it?
It didn't exist until George Lucas wrote it on a cocktail napkin in 1994.
Well, it exists now. And it's part of the canon.
Doesn't exist.
So you got to deal with it.
Doesn't exist in my mind, my friend.
They're just being delusional.
No, I like my 5 Star Wars movies, my friend. That's the way it works.
So yeah. Lines from Luke that no one really expected, and not for nothing, for a company who has said that they're not going to be using anything from the extended universe.
Yeah. And
this is kind of like the leading rumor on this, is that the concept of the Gray being introduced, which I never read a lot of. I never got huge in the extended universe stuff, but I read like some synopsis and whatnot. I always thought the concept of the Gray was really cool. And something that would work in a film.
I see this term getting tossed around, the Gray. Did Luke say the Gray?
No.
Did fans say the Gray?
Yes.
Are they basing it on anything that is considered canon right now?
No.
Okay. Don't worry about that crap. It doesn't exist, and I don't want to hear it. Because all I can it put that in the same pile of garbage where fans are like, Luke's gonna go to the dark side. It's gonna be cool. Apparently, he didn't watch Return of the Jedi when he outright rejects the dark side and says he'll never turn. I don't think it's so much as a gray. I think it's more a Luke spent his life fighting for the Jedi and fighting for good, tried to reinstate the Jedi Order, blew up in his face, literally, which we're going to see. There's some cool shots of the Knights of Ren and all that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty psyched for that, actually, because I want to know who those guys are. And he realized, you know what? This whole thing with the red lightsabers and the blue and one side and the other didn't work out so well. Screw the Jedi. I'm okay with that. And nary the word gray was used. Not at all. Not for nothing. I think it's a smart call on Luke's part.
Okay.
Don't worry about the gray. Don't worry about all that stuff. Let the fanboys have it. I don't need it.
All right.
Perspective.
Was there anything aside from Luke's behavior that came as a surprise in the trailer?
Not so much, really. That line took me aback a little bit. I didn't expect Luke to be like,
Yeah.
But that's cool. I like it. Like, all right, he's done some thinking on this island, and he's come up with this new philosophy. All right, man. I'm interested. Let's go in the theater and see what Luke's got to say. There's like that library shot. That's kind of interesting.
Oh, not so much a library as just like a small bookshelf.
No, it was like, was that like a bunch of books?
Looks like it's inside of like a tree or a cave or something.
Okay. And there was that one shot of whose glove is that when they're putting their hand over the map or whatever? Remember that one shot? It's like a brown leather glove, and he puts it over that star icon. It looks like an old map.
You mean the cover of the book?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the Jedi emblem.
Yeah, that's the shot I mean. Like, okay, what is that? Whose hand is that? What are they looking at? What is it? Again,
sure, we'll find out.
That's cool. I like that. That as a trailer for me, that was just enough for me to be like, okay, dude, I'm in. It's Star Wars visual. It's the characters that you introduced, and Luke doing Luke stuff, and just enough to have the appetite and get me in. I'm all good.
Yeah.
No R2 in the trailer. Interesting.
Yeah, he was in the trailer.
Was he?
Yeah.
I saw BB-8. He was. You're right.
Brief flash.
Yep. Question for you.
Oh, his beautiful X-wing.
He'll get a new one.
Paints it black too.
Is Finn gonna stand up in this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. Good.
He's not gonna be Sleeping Beauty throughout the whole thing.
Didn't he say that at Celebration?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Question.
Yes.
The shot of the burning whatever with
building looked like a burning building,
right? And then Luke. I think it's Luke.
Yeah, Luke kneeling next to R2.
Is that okay? So here's a question for you. I'm looking. That shot looks to be a reverse angle of the shot from The Force Awakens, where we see him put his hand on R2, famously, his robot hand.
Yeah.
Is that the same moment? Right. I'm guessing it's another view of the same moment that we're going to see in this movie.
Possibly, yeah.
If so, in The Force Awakens, it was implicated to me anyway that was a flashback. Right.
Yeah.
Is it a flashback? Or is that going to happen in this movie and it was a flash forward?
If I were in Vegas and I had to lay money on it,
yeah.
I would say it's a flashback that will get fleshed out in this film.
Okay.
It will be kind of a Luke explanation to Rey what happened. Because obviously not all the questions are going to be answered. Wouldn't be a trilogy if they were. I don't think we will find out who Snoke is in this one.
A little early yet for that, maybe.
The director, Rian Johnson, said that Rey's parentage would be addressed in this film, but he didn't say...
Confirmed?
It would be confirmed.
Okay.
So I think we're going to get little teasers, things that bring us along. I hope they don't follow the formula they did for Force Awakens, which is just kind of make it beat for beat original Star Wars. I hope they don't try to make this beat for beat Empire.
I don't think they will.
For two reasons. One, I think Empire's experience that can never be duplicated.
Agreed.
Biggest plot twist in movie history. I hope they just don't try to do that again.
Yeah, I feel you.
I hope that they're smart enough to know that they've reestablished faith, and now just kind of go forward and do their own thing.
Yep, totally agree with you.
So yeah,
no, dude, I liked the trailer a lot.
Yeah, it's a good trailer.
I was whelmed. I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't underwhelmed. I enjoyed it for what it was.
I was extremely excited for it.
Yeah, dude. All you got to say is new Star Wars. I'm in the theater, so you got me. You okay there?
Yeah, back's just a little sore.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, that is it for the case files.
I think so.
They still haven't announced what that last Legacy film is.
They haven't. I think they said it's coming up.
The money's on either a Boba Fett film or an Obi-Wan film. Of the two, I'd rather have an Obi-Wan film.
Yeah.
Especially since Ewan McGregor is really down to reprise role. And as much as you hate the prequels, he was good in all three of them. He was believable as Obi-Wan.
He did the best he could in all three of them with what he was given. He had a pulse where many did not. Let's put it that way. I could get on board with that. Put that take on the character in a good movie, and I can get down with that.
Hey, Disney, can you do us a favor? We've given you a lot of money. We've given you a lot of money. And you've been good to us. You have, but can you do us a little favor for this third Star Wars Legacy film? Can we just have a film about Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Lando Calrissian meeting up with the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, hey, whoa, no, stop, slow down.
Can we just have that?
No.
Can I get Han and Rocket yelling at each other?
No.
And Chewie and Groot talking back and forth?
Yo, Patton Oswalt, no.
Don't listen to what my co-host is saying. He doesn't know how to have fun sometimes. Just, can we get that? Can we at least get a comic book series of that? Can we get that?
You might get that.
Okay.
No, man. These things can't cross over.
Why not?
No.
Why not?
Because Star Wars...
We don't know what the time frame of Star Wars is.
It's a long time ago.
By whose chronology?
Earth's.
Has Earth appeared in a Star Wars film?
No,
Has Earth
it's
been
a galaxy far, far
anywhere
away.
in the Star Wars movies? Has Earth appeared anywhere in the Star Wars movies?
It's implied.
No, so then we don't know by whose time.
Galaxy far, far away, sir.
Their distant past could be our present. We don't know.
No.
Just saying.
I'm going to go ahead and say no to that.
That being said, oh, Drew, I'm not going to lie to you. I rolled some tears in this episode.
Really?
And I watched these episodes at work. So picture me at work sitting at my desk, kind of my head down over my phone, grabbing tissues. Yeah, awkward.
It's a good episode.
Penny and Dime is the name of episode 4 of season 2.
Tis.
We start out with an Irish funeral.
Yeah, we got to establish that they're Irish. It's very important.
Well, the corned beef and cabbage and whiskey.
I know. I'm on the record on this already. I miss the paisans, but got to keep up with the times, I guess. But we get a pecking order to the Irish at this point.
Yes, we do. We kind of the head leprechaun shows up.
He showed up, and I'm the racist.
I'm half Irish. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, he shows up from Ireland.
Yeah.
And he toasts to his dead son.
Yep.
Then he kills the other guy.
Gives him the old basic instinct.
To the skull.
To the eye.
Yeah.
Just kind of really just drives it in there.
At that point I figured the whole gang of people that were there to see their friends off in the funeral and all that, and that they were probably working for the guy who got stabbed in the face. Maybe someone jumps in?
No. This is the boss.
I guess so.
This is the boss.
But, emotions run high. But, yeah. And they hit the streets looking.
Yeah. Yeah, we get... It's funny because, obviously Frank has established his presence, but you can see how he's been very careful to...
Keep a low profile?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny that, they found him through the pet shop guy.
Yeah, it's never...
And they found where he's living, and they took his dog.
Dude, I have in my notes here, and I have it more than once. Do not hurt the dog.
Don't hurt the dog.
You want to piss me off in a movie? You want to make me visibly angry or uncomfortable in a film? Start messing with a dog, and I will... Dude.
No, we are...
I will walk out of a movie for that.
I don't go to see movies that are about dogs because you know how it's going to end. Dog's going to die.
That's different. Like, I'm with you. I understand. Sometimes some people love the good cry though with the dog movies. I feel you.
I've cried enough over real dogs that have passed away. I don't need to do it in a movie.
I know, me too, man. But no, like if you want to put a villain over, if you really want me to hate not just the villain of the movie, but the movie itself because they put it in there, go hurt a dog on a movie. I will, dude. I will. Yeah, bad stuff. Puts me in a place.
No, I'm right there with you. We have both grown up with dogs our entire life. We both currently have dogs.
But they kidnapped the dog.
That's why I can kind of get behind the concept of the movie John Wick.
Yeah, right?
Someone kills his dog and he just
Rampage.
loses it. I'm like, okay, Rampage.
That's exactly right, sir. I'm 2 episodes into Archer, by the way. I think it's fine.
Is this the last season or this current
The current
season?
one. Dreamland. It's good.
I haven't seen it.
No, it's good so far.
I don't see it till
Some
it comes
people
on
were like,
Netflix.
it's underwhelming. No, it's pretty good.
All right.
Yeah, it's neat.
Good to hear. Voice kind of went high there for a second.
It's good. So yeah, they don't hurt. They do kidnap the dog.
Yeah.
And they ransack Frank's place, but he's not there because he's smart.
Not one for fancy living.
No. Canned beans and the like. And then we go to Grotto's funeral.
Yeah.
And
there's I've had a saying. A friend of mine's brother passed away tragically, suddenly, years back. Went to his funeral, and the guy's funeral was standing room only.
wow.
I've had a saying ever since then. Live a life worthy of a standing room only funeral.
Well, damn.
Grotto, not so much.
No.
Because the only people there are Frank, Foggy,
and Karen.
Foggy, Matt, and Karen.
That's correct.
And we have the priest.
And the priest.
From season 1.
Yeah. Sans cappuccino this time.
Yes, no cappuccino. Well, it'd be inappropriate for a funeral.
Yeah, probably.
Well, for during the funeral services.
Yeah.
Matt has a really good conversation with the priest after the service, and a really, really great line is handed over by the priest. Guilt is the soul's call to action.
Yeah, in Matt's case, absolutely true.
Matt's feeling guilty because Grotto died.
Of course he's feeling guilty.
Didn't save him. It's like, Matt, you were in a lose-lose-lose situation on that rooftop. You were lucky to get out in one piece.
Yes.
But I just think that's a really, really great line.
Matt's guilt and his kind of, his need to be better, I guess, than Frank. At this point, after Frank kind of laid him out verbally, I think Matt's kind of on a mission at this point to prove that he is not like Frank.
Yeah.
And then his conversations with Officer Mahoney kind of reinforced that too. Matt never really considered the fallout of what he did with taking out the Kingpin. Mahoney tells him straight up, people like you are making people not trust people like me.
Yeah.
Cops.
You've turned us into mop-up men.
Right.
Cleanup duty.
And Matt's kind of...
He takes that to heart.
Yeah, he does.
As we see at the end of the episode.
Exactly.
Yeah, Frank kind of... I don't want to call them truths, but Frank shoved some concepts in Matt's face on that rooftop that maybe Matt either didn't want to acknowledge or had never thought of.
Right.
And now we see kind of the fallout of that as Matt's kind of in a funk, even for Matt, in the beginning of this episode. Also in this episode, we are introduced to Frank's battle van. Ish.
One of them. not quite the battle van.
The battle van was kind of a staple of the character in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah. It got a trading
correctly.
card.
Yes, it did. And it appeared with the character's appearance in the Spider-Man animated series.
See? That's how you know it's a thing.
If it's in a cartoon, it's a thing.
There might be a toy for all we know.
Oh, I wonder if there's a toy.
There probably is a toy.
I think I know what your Christmas present might be.
Okay, question for you.
Yeah.
Before we get continued. Who would win in a fight? Frank's battle van? Turtle van?
Are we talking about the battle van that was in this show, or just the concept of the battle van?
The concept of the battle van.
I'm going battle van.
Okay.
Because Turtle Van is non-lethal ordnance.
Shooting sewer grates at people is non-lethal.
Well, they didn't shoot them at people. They shot them at robots.
That's true. That's true. You got a point there.
And to be fair, the sewer grate is not necessarily a guided weapon. It's just a straight-on dumbfire.
Tell you what,
I'm sure Frank has some guided ordnance in there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I'm giving it to Frank's battle van.
I'm not going to get disagreement from me. So that's fine. Yeah, he's living out of the van down by the river. Although, no, not really. 48th and 10th, I believe, is the address.
Yes.
That's not really down. But, well, no, it's by the water, kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We also got some digging around of Karen in this episode. Starts snooping around Frank's past.
Karen's going off. She's going into business for herself,
starting
as
to
we
establish
say.
her as having some reporter chops and whatnot. I wonder what that could lead to.
Some sleuth chops, sure.
Yep. I'm trying to see, because I actually took more notes for this episode than I have recent episodes.
There's, to be honest, there's not a ton. What you get in this episode is you get Karen investigating. Excuse me. You get Karen investigating Frank's past based on the file that was left to her in the last episode.
Yeah.
You get Frank on a rampage, more or less. Well, the rampage comes to him, kind of.
Rampage!
And then Matt investigating and trying to track down where Frank is.
Matt getting a new suit this episode.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Did you see the stilts again?
The stilts were there.
The stilts were, and the chest piece was there too.
Sure was.
The stilt man
and
chest piece.
as if that wasn't enough, Melvin Potter decides to say, like, hey, I got some protection. Because you never know. A lot of guys coming around asking for ordnance these days. Check it out. He's got the gladiator shirt on.
Unfortunately, it wasn't bright yellow.
There was yellow in it, though.
There's yellow in it.
It's enough for me.
Still better than the Iron Fist costume.
What Iron Fist costume? Dude, I'll tell you, throw me a costume, and I might not hate the show as much.
Yeah.
A little costume goes a long way.
It does. It does. You never realize how much until you don't have it.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. Anyway, back to the good show.
What do you think of the redesign of the costume for this season?
It's good.
Yeah?
Still good. You know what's weird? I said it before. We were iffy on the suit in the first season. For whatever reason, it was like, people didn't have the strong reaction. They were kind of like, I don't know. It's okay, but eh. Then when we saw it again in the first episode of season 2, I was like, oh, no, it looks fine. It's good. Like, it looks good.
I think they might have retooled it a little bit in between seasons.
Maybe. Subtly. But it's basically the same. Now the new one, fine. Looks cool. They refined the headpiece a little bit. It's a little more aerodynamic and streamlined, and it looks...
A little more single piece looking than just kind of plates stitched together.
It's Daredevil, man.
Yeah.
My only gripe, Melvin, next time, season 3 suit, put the DD on the chest. Come on. I know it's gimmicky, but come on, you can do it.
Paint the rest of those black pieces red.
Yeah, it is getting
and you
a little...
know what? They kind of established Melvin as the personality that would do that.
Right. He would get fascinated by that kind of thing. We can hope. Now that he's more established as Daredevil.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a good suit though. No, he looks good.
Yeah.
Iron Fist, what's your excuse? Matt's got a suit. Matt's got 2.
Wasn't it like the 3rd episode they could have justified putting him in the suit?
There were several opportunities.
Yeah.
No. Danny Rand.
He's Danny Rand.
He sure is Danny Rand.
Okay, so let's...
Speaking of suits, just real quick. Do you think I'm assuming it's very intentional? Were they intentionally going for a Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver sort of look for Frank in this episode? And
I don't think. Gonna make a confession.
Okay.
Never seen Taxi Driver.
Oh.
Seen episodes of Taxi.
No,
I've never seen Taxi Driver.
Very different. The coat look.
I get the look.
Similar.
Yeah, no, I get the look. I think it may have been a spiritual inspiration, but I think that for a character that they're establishing Frank to be, his clothing is functional. Not fashionable.
Very utilitarian.
Like the coat looks a little bulky, which means either it's got a lot of cargo carrying capacity or it's housing some protection.
Probably.
So, yeah.
Okay. It just stuck out to me a little bit. Knowing the makers of this show, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Let's get to the heart of this matter. So Frank is snatched up at the Ferris wheel.
The carousel.
Yeah, carousel. Invented not too far away from here in North Tonawanda.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Didn't know that.
There's a whole museum.
Dedicated to carousels.
Yeah, in North Tonawanda. It's nice. It's quickly,
The more you know.
Yeah, hour trip and whatnot. Or no, not an hour trip to it, but like you spend about an hour there. Just need a little history about the area.
Huh.
Something we don't ever really talk about in the show, but I noticed in this episode, in that brief moment where the carousel shut down, all the people left, the Foley work.
Ah, okay. Which is sound effects for those of you that don't know.
The night sounds, crickets, cicadas, and whatnot for the summertime. Really felt right. Really sounded great. And it just popped out to me this episode.
Those people probably never get any recognition, so props to them, and maybe we should send them a link to this show because we are applauding the Foley work, sir.
Yes.
Foley artists everywhere right now are going like, finally! Not everyone can be Ben Burtt, thank you.
Yeah, that's true. So the phrase "don't shoot" doesn't quite apply to Frank.
No.
Because that one guy made the unfortunate mistake of saying, "We need him alive, don't shoot." So Frank was like, "Oh,
I will kill all of you now."
That will require a tetanus shot.
Well, Frank did get a tetanus shot, technically.
Yeah,
they drugged him.
And he got some stuff that will require a tetanus shot.
Yeah.
Most likely. So the Irish snatch up Frank and bring him back for interrogation because dude wants his money back.
Yeah. When Frank hit the Irish in the first episode, he killed them all and took the briefcase full of money.
I believe it was $1.2 million.
Yeah.
I believe is the amount. We see another level of Frank, yet another level of Frank.
I got a couple notes about like the whole capture of Frank and all that stuff. Now, I don't know that he intended on being captured. Then again, okay, here's why.
You can kind of look at it both ways because when they went into his apartment,
he purposely left the Central Park carousel tickets on clear as day to see.
Yeah,
which indicated to them where he would be, etc. Also, there was that scene, and I thought, oh, Frank's patching himself up. No.
Apparently the coat didn't have enough pockets.
He was prepping, apparently, for something to happen later.
Yeah, so I think it was his plan to get caught.
Okay, here's all I'm going to say, and this is a nitpick, but I'll take it for what it's worth. He's lucky that those guys decided to use tape when they tied him up in the chair, not chains or handcuffs.
Yeah.
Because when he pulls the razor blade out of his own that he put in his own arm, knowing he'd be captured, he's lucky that razor blade could cut the tape. That's all I'm going to say.
Val points her. I like how the boss takes the pills. He's like, "They're for my nerves." Frank's like, "Do I look nervous to you?"
Frank is cool as a cucumber, man.
Frank is cool as a cucumber, even perspectively cool while having a drill put through his foot.
That's going to require some medical attention, dude.
Yeah.
And that's not to say we don't even know what happened to him after that because they cut away.
Yeah.
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 Oh.
That's messed up.
Can I actually... So, in the first season of Daredevil, we got an escalation of violence, the likes of which I certainly did not expect to see when Kingpin slammed that guy's head into the car door until it literally exploded. This episode might come up a notch in terms of the graphic, oh my god, that just happened meter.
I don't think it came up a notch because remember, we saw the guy's brains spill down through.
But it was still like... It's air quotes off panel, if you know what I'm saying. No. They were, but you didn't.
I think
you don't see it, and then you see it. Okay, I'm just gonna get out of the way. Frank shot the guy in the face with a shotgun, and they show it.
I think the car door scene and these scenes are on the same step. I think later on in the season, the prison fight. When it steps it up a notch.
Either way, though. Shotgun.
Yeah, to the face.
You
don't bounce back from that.
No.
Nope.
Like, it's one thing to do it and just imply it. No. His face explodes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So Matt shows up
Just in time. Oh,
And-
I should point out, Frank did set an additional trap. And he only sprung the additional trap when these rat punk jerk Irishmen were going to kill the dog.
Yeah.
And now, this is how you know. Frank will murder, maim, destroy, and ruin you and your family and everyone that you know if you're a bad guy. But I know he's a good guy. You know how I know that? Because he will not tolerate someone messing with a dog.
Yeah.
Me and Frank are, see.
And they weren't just going to kill the dog. They were going to do all the same stuff to the dog that they were doing to Frank.
That's right.
So
You want to what? You see?
I'm not going to say the guy deserved the shotgun in the face, but he had it coming.
You wonder why Punisher is my favorite character? This went up a couple notches in that moment.
So
Do not hurt the dog.
yeah, Matt shows up.
Yes.
Matt loves his hallways.
Yeah.
Loves the hallways. Does his best work in a hallway.
He really does.
Just some really cool scene of Matt taking out the guards.
So again, man,
Billy Club work.
ricocheting and catching.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
it. Insisting, of course, that Frank does not kill anyone.
Yeah.
These fight scenes are better than anything in Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Far and away.
Okay, just putting that out there.
Yep.
A show about a guy who's a martial artist
No, I get you.
has worse fight scenes than Daredevil.
Man, I know we've said it before, but imagine if we did Iron Fist instead of Daredevil Season 2.
See, listeners, those of you who wanted us to do Iron Fist,
Yep.
trust us.
To be fair, at the time that the decision was being made, we anticipated Iron Fist being good. So we had no reason to think it wasn't going to be good.
We made the right call.
Well, no, I definitely
And
think
it's
we made
proving
the
to
right
be
call,
an amazing
Yeah.
juxtaposition.
I want to talk about, obviously, the cemetery scene.
Okay. Are we there yet? Well, I guess we're there yet.
We're pretty much there.
We're pretty much there. Frank and Matt escape.
Yeah.
And then we get the whole soliloquy.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, again, this is my third time going through this season. There's 3 levels that you can understand what Frank is talking about in this scene in the cemetery. There's level of the casual viewer who, like, I wouldn't say casual, but level of the fan that, loves this character, has read this character for years and can really understand where the character is coming from. Next level up is if you're a parent.
Sure.
You understand the speech on a whole new level. The third level up, level that I hope neither one of us ever reach, is level of a soldier who's come home and is a parent. Because Frank talking about the love between him and his kids and his family and everything he experienced when he came home from war is kind of what got me rolling tears, especially when we talked about what happened to them. Because when you become a parent, the world becomes a lot scarier really quick.
Sure.
Because there's a lot more things to be fearful of. And it becomes, for you, how difficult it is watching something happen to a dog on the screen. For me now, it's that level of difficult watching something happen to a kid on the screen, because your brain can't help but think, but for the grace of God goes my child.
Sure.
So hearing that speech and just the amazing performance John Barenthal gives.
It's
Emmy-worthy performance.
It is. He kills it here.
At the same time, Charlie Cox gives an equally good performance just through motion. Because
all he does is listen.
He just kind of sits down with them and listens. And just the expressions that you get from him with half his face covered. Mm-hmm. Him rolling a tear at what Frank's saying, because he's finally starting to understand
who this
a
guy
little
is.
bit more who he is.
Right.
And I think in a lot of ways here, Frank's done. I think he almost makes it sound like he's come to a point where he's not going to be able to go any further because the boss guy didn't even know who he was. It just seems like the way he's playing the scene, it just seems like he even says like, I'm done. I'm tired.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the Punisher goes into, for lack of a better phrase, a coma for a little bit. And there's just this shell of Frank Castle left, who's willing to accept whatever comes consequence-wise and whatnot.
Well, we'll see how that plays out. I don't disagree. Yeah, I guess, and that to be fair, that's almost a critique for me in this episode. Because if you're going to call him the Punisher, I guess I want my Punisher to be fully formed, and this is still kind of proto-Punisher.
Yeah, because
that's
he's
fine.
not calling himself the Punisher.
No,
yet.
no, the media's dubbed him that.
Other
that.
people are calling
Right.
him Punisher.
That's fine. I like my Punisher fully formed, emotionally hardened. He would never give that soliloquy. But this version, being early, being, proto, he's still kind of clay. He's not quite a statue yet.
Yeah.
It's great. And it tells you everything you need to know before he takes the next step. And it's fantastic. Like, it is riveting stuff. And in a way, yeah, he is done. Well, Frank Castle is done.
Yeah.
For whatever it's worth. And I guess he does kind of resign himself to whatever at that point. He doesn't fully just commit to being the Punisher right then. That's to come, I suppose. But, yeah, I guess that's my only critique, is that if we're going to go Punisher, I would have liked him to have been already there. But you know what? To introduce people to him, to get some kind of emotional connection to the character.
Yeah.
To make him a protagonist of some kind.
Especially in his own series coming up.
Right.
That you have to have
give
somewhat level of sympathy for him.
Sure. But now, well, yeah, we'll see. And again, we're going to see how it goes. All I can say is in his own series, I don't want any more of that.
I don't think we'll get much more.
It's time to say, you know what? This is who he is.
We've got Skull.
Let's put him up against the bad people, the dog killers.
Yep.
Episode where he just goes full John Wick. It's okay for a season or whatever. But yeah, no, Bernthal kills this episode, dude. It's great. And Charlie Cox too. Props to him for that.
Yeah.
He had to sit there and listen, and he could have, give it to an actor who doesn't just sit there and not do anything while the other guy talks. No, he motions and he sits down and intently listens and he responds in the right ways. It's good stuff. It's all good stuff. Fantastic ending to not even the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Fantastic scene. Before we get into the end of the episode, one more critique I have.
Okay.
It's a clever visual that they did with the X-ray of the skull and all that stuff with him, and I don't need him to be shot in the head and miraculously survive and all that business. You know why? Here's why.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's like they're trying to make him into more than a man.
Right. And here's another reason why I don't like that. It gives me a little bit more. This came first, so I guess it started here. It leaves me, not me because I know, but people who aren't familiar with the characters necessarily. It's that whole Misty Knight thing. Wait, does he have like powers because of this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I get that.
Leave that out. You're not adding anything to him here. I
mean, even though Frank was also caught in the crossfire that claimed his family and received injuries from, wasn't he in a coma in the comics for a while?
Yeah,
okay.
He got messed up. But isn't that enough?
Better.
I don't need the he got shot in the head. So because by getting him shot in the head, now you're thinking like, oh well, now he's psychologically unhinged,
some sort of spiritual avenger.
Spiritual, not even that, but just like, oh well,
with his ghost gun.
He was like, I want to, like he was normal until he got shot in the head, and again, as a Punisher fan, no,
don't need it.
He didn't need it. He was always this way. The killing of his family just brought it out,
opened the door.
Exactly. And that's, that's how I want it. But anyway, so Matt and Karen finally
that was my only note for that. Finally.
Yeah.
Matt and Karen hook up.
Well, they don't hook up, but they at least kiss.
Well, we've got the connection. They've made a love connection.
Well, they've been teasing it for
Yeah, they have.
So they finally act on it.
Yep.
Matt's feeling pretty good.
Matt's feeling good, but as Matt Murdock's life is to normally go.
He goes upstairs after getting a kiss on. Dude, and I want to put this out there. I was in my spoiler-free mode for this whole season when it was coming out.
Yeah.
So I had no idea this was coming.
You didn't know Elektra was in the series?
Nope. Elektra. I marked out hard.
How did you get through?
Because they marketed it as Punisher, and as soon as I knew that before the details came out, I went into shutdown mode. Okay, I'm in. Punisher, Daredevil, go. Didn't read anything. Didn't. I avoided everything. So when this happened, I was just like, oh, we're going here now. And that is exciting because not for nothing, I really like, well, I got to see how it plays watching it again, but I like the angle they take with Elektra.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we get the hand.
A lot of stuff happens. Some people don't like the hand in this show.
Love the hand. Love the hand. Ninja fights.
Yeah.
Always down for more ninja fights.
Good episode.
Great episode.
Yeah.
Like, how do you follow up episode 3? This is how you follow up episode 3.
This show, though. This show, compared to Iron Fist, it's not even fair.
It's really not. I'm surprised how much Marvel misstepped with Iron Fist.
It's kind of stat. And do I want to? Jessica Jones is good. No, it's good, but even it's not. It's got flaw. It's got a little more Iron Fist than it does Daredevil in it.
I think because of the character that Jessica is and the story they were drawing from, it didn't have the opportunity to kind of go down the road that Daredevil went down.
Yeah, I
Jessica. This season of Daredevil is drawing from like vintage Miller, Romita Jr., stuff like that.
Sure.
Whereas the story that they're drawing from with Jessica Jones is less than 10 years old and is a very grounded.
It's not so much that it's some certain elements that I feel are more Fist than Daredevil. So like the guy who plays Nuke, I hated him. I thought he was a bad actor. He rang really false to me.
Nuke is not a character that requires an Academy Award winning actor.
No, but his performance irked me. It was like this guy. And then when they finally revealed who he was, I'm like, oh, okay, well.
No, maybe you need to watch it again.
Yeah, no, I know, and I will. But so like that's that. And then Luke Cage is like, I would put the first half of Luke Cage on par with some of the best of Daredevil. Maybe not quite as high, but some of it, like
it's in the conversation.
The Cottonmouth episode for damn sure.
Yeah.
And then it takes the hard turn. So like there seems to be, after Daredevil season 2, it feels like there's risky quality changes, and I hope that doesn't bode to be like a. I hope that's not going to be the thing that we should expect for Daredevil season 3.
Yeah, I think we can have confidence in Daredevil season 3.
I hope so.
Defenders is only 8 episodes long.
Okay.
So if they have pacing problems when they're only doing 8 episodes, yeesh.
And fight choreography problems, etc. Like I want it all to be like this. I want it all to be like Daredevil, because Daredevil rules.
Not everything can be the best.
I know,
because if everything's the best, then you don't appreciate how good the good is.
I'm appreciating Daredevil right now. I'll tell you that. It's the sweet, sweet stuff. Rub it on my gums.
Sweet, sweet can.
Yeah, that's right. Precious Venus.
All right, folks. That about does it here for us. Another epic length.
We went off there today.
Devils do.
A lot of content today.
A lot of stuff. Hopefully no major announcements next week. And
surprise.
All right, folks. We appreciate you listening to us. If you'd like to reach out to the show with questions, comments, suggestions, you can reach us on Twitter at DevilsDoPod. You can go to Facebook.com/DevilsDoPod. You can email us at thedevilsdupod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources at thedevilsdupodcast.com. That being said, Drew, any last thoughts?
Do I or don't I watch another episode of Iron Fist tonight?
I think you're in a good place mentally right now. Maybe.
So no, in other words.
Yeah.
I got a Better Call Saul on the DVR. I got to watch that.
Yeah.
So that's going to put me in a happy place.
Watch more Voltron.
Could. Yeah, maybe.
They're only half-hour episodes now.
Even better.
Come out. Could start into Badlands.
I'll put that on the list.
Could watch Spectrum. Keep telling you about that.
I need more time.
I think the point I'm making here is you never really kind of explore things I suggest.
I need more time. I need a clone.
You need to go to multiplicity, right?
Yes. I need a Doug. I need Drew too.
See, the way to go with that is not so much clone. If you could only do like multiple man.
Yeah, because then I could reabsorb and gain all the knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
It is the way to do it, actually. Jamie Madrox had it right.
I believe he's dead now, though.
That's so lame. So lame. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. All right. We're about to go off on air. That's a whole episode.
What the
hell's wrong with that?
This episode. My God.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. Court is adjourned.